Good evening, everybody. It's Zoe speaking, and I just would like to know if people can hear me and see my screen. If you could put the thumbs up for me, or somebody on the manager's chat message me to say that all is clear, that would be really helpful. We'll just give it a little while. We've only got 17 attendees on at the moment, so we'll just give them a few more seconds to log in. Okay, I've got the go-ahead from the manager's chat that everything is going okay and that you can see and hear me. So I'm going to crack on, and as I say, welcome to week 3 of the new 6-week rolling training. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. I know I absolutely loved Amanda's slot last week. Just a second. Okay, so in week 3, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be continuing on from Amanda's slot last week. We're going to be talking about prospecting for diamonds. We're going to be looking for all those really special people that really want to run with the business, and we're going to be looking at some additional methods that you can use while you're prospecting. We're going to be looking at how you send out the information and in what order and how you follow it up. A very, very brief pointer as to how to do a one-to-one presentation, where to find the information and how to practice that. And we're going to talk about building a successful pipeline using that lovely activity tracker in the First Steps to Manager book. Sorry. So, additional methods for prospecting for diamonds. Now, what we want to be doing is we want to be focusing on at least 3 methods of prospecting minimum. As we've gone over in the past, you have your Who Do You Know list. So that's the list that we ask you to do with your First Steps to Manager book when you have that very first planning meeting, and you have to think of absolutely everybody that you know. Write down all your friends, families, friends of friends, everybody at work, and that's the list that you're going to use as your database. There's also contact marketing, which I'm going to go over a lot today, how to use flyers and cards, going to networking events, using social media correctly, going to shows and expeditions, expos, asking for referrals, using your customers as your prospects. They will ultimately, most of them, become your prospects in the long run, and talking to absolutely everybody. So you really want to be focusing on a minimum of 3 methods of prospecting and getting really, really comfortable with that. Now, what is contact marketing? Now, this is the thing that scares everybody. The minute I mention contact marketing to majority of my team, they either go green and look like they're going to physically vomit, or they look like they just want to run out of the room, and there is absolutely no way I am ever going to make anybody go out contact marketing. It's not my job to make anyone do anything. All I'm asking is that you become comfortable going out and making new friends. So many of my team come to me and say, oh, I don't have that many people left on my Who Do You Know list. It's drying up. Well, it will. If you're not going out and meeting new people, you should be adding to people to that list every day. And this is where contact marketing becomes so important. So I like to call contact marketing, instead of using that with any of my team, I just say going out and making new friends. And it's how you work the cold market alongside your warm market. So the people that you're friends with already, that you know already, these are people that you probably have only just met for the first time. And I've got so many people coming to me and saying, but I'm more comfortable talking to people I don't know rather than those that I do know. And that is totally normal, because they don't yet have the confidence in themselves and their delivery and or the industry yet. So it's really good to go out and practice on people that you don't know. But what you do have to understand, though, is quite how many people you have to speak to in the cold market, those unknown people that you don't have a relationship with yet, in order to sign just one person. But as long as you're having fun with it and you're going out there, it will happen. But I think in my statistics, it's probably only about 1 in 25 people that I actually collect contacts from, that I get to put their names into my Facebook when I'm out and about, that actually do take a look at the business. So if any of you feel like you're hitting a brick wall with that who do you know list, or with your prospecting, then this method can really make you feel like suddenly the whole planet becomes part of your warm list. You suddenly realize just how many people there are in the world that you don't know against those that you do know. So you shouldn't be cutting that whole section off from your prospecting, and you should really, really try looking at it. You're going out, look at it as window shopping for real good quality people, people that you want to choose to work with. So if you can do it, if you can go out there and you can become comfortable being uncomfortable and approaching people and talking to people that you really don't know and striking up conversations, if you can do it, then you can coach it down to your team. And this is what we're all about. It's about being duplicatable. So it's so important that you give it a go. And this is really, really where I was extremely uncomfortable. But before I knew it, and before I even realized it, I was doing opportune contact marketing within all sorts of environments. So I'll go over the difference in that shortly. And the thing that really drives me is the fact that it's a need for me as a single mum, as a divorced parent. I need this income. And I look at my kids, and I look at my eldest one going to boarding school in the UK, and I'm paying her fees. If I don't do this, if I let the fear overcome everything else, then she won't get those school fees paid. She wouldn't have gone to the boarding school of her choice in the UK. So I had to. My who do you know list was drying up. I needed to go out there, and I needed to add to it, and I needed to meet more people. So I basically overcame the fear because my need was greater. And that's where I think you need to look at it. Why are you driving this business? What made you start this business? What goals have you got? What is your why? It's going to be so much stronger than those butterflies in your tummy when you go and approach somebody that you don't even know. I promise you, you'll be chasing them into Debenhams in future when you see somebody that you think, oh my God, they'd be amazing on my team. You'll be chasing them into the doors of Debenhams because you'll remember what your why is. And that's what you need to get emotionally connected with. So what I think of when I'm doing this is, how many lives can I change today? We have such an amazing opportunity in our hands. And rather than being scared and feeling that you may be forcing something onto somebody that they don't want it, how do you know? How do you know what position that person is in? You don't know them. They may be in a position where they're absolutely desperate to A, get out of the job that they're in that they hate, B, have another income into their household so they can give the kids the school trips, help towards the school fees like I was. You just don't know anybody's situation or anybody's story. So every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. And I think contact marketing was probably one of the biggest scary things for me and majority of people. And it just can make such a huge difference in somebody's life to be offered an opportunity that they know absolutely nothing about. And basically, that's why I have no fear of rejection anymore. It doesn't make any difference to me if I approach somebody And after I've done my pitch to them, that they turn around and say, oh no, that really isn't for me. Absolutely fine. What have I lost? Nothing at all, except maybe 2-3 minutes of my time. Absolutely nothing. But what if that person turns around and says, oh my goodness, you couldn't have caught me on a better day. I'm having such a bad day. I can't pay the school fees next month. I can't let the kids go on the school trip to, you know, wherever it is, because I just can't make ends meet. I'd really like to take a look at what you're offering. Bang, there you go. Hand over the phone, pop your name into my Facebook. It's that easy. You just don't know. So let go of the outcome. So one of the things I found with contact marketing is it's completely duplicatable. So if you lead by example and you're contact marketing, your team will ask you how you did it. It's great, and I have to say really easier if you're a mum, because it's so easy to go up to another mum and say, oh my goodness, isn't she cute, when they've got a baby in a pram or they're holding a young child's hand. It's that simple. So it's so easy to start a conversation with another mum, whether it's in the mall or whether it's in the health office waiting room. But in order to not be on the back foot when you go out contact marketing, you need to learn your script. So you need to learn it like you're about to go on stage at the Dubai Opera House. Honestly, when you start, you'll get so tongue-tied. Your mind goes blank, you'll walk up to somebody, you'll be all determined, you've got the guts up, you go up to them and you go, hello, and then you go blank. And then the next thing you do is you do my absolute constant, which was the Bridget Jones, can you tell me where the toilet is, please? Because I've bottled it, completely bottled it, and then I shoot off to the toilet and then I'm kicking myself, because I didn't actually have the guts, or I didn't have the script in my head completely and utterly parrot fashion to start with. So that is one thing that you really need to concentrate on. And it's really what you need to concentrate on before you go out. So these are the kinds of examples of what it is that I say when I am contact marketing. Now, what you need to remember is, I said earlier, there's opportune contact marketing and there's target contact marketing. Now, this one would be more opportune. And really what you need to remember is it's all about raising your vibe. What people pick up is not, it's only a tiny percentage of what you're actually saying to them. Most of it is actually the energy that you give whilst you're saying it. So get up, do your gratitudes, do your morning ritual, stick that really good song on, get bopping around your bedroom while you're getting dressed in the morning, have that energy level really high and be excited so that people are attracted to you. And what I said before was try carrying something on you. I've got my goal board on my Pinterest, on my phone. So when I'm having a tiny bit of a wobble, or I don't want to actually say something to someone, I might just have a quick look on my phone and it will remind me what my dreams and goals are and why I need to be doing this. And within seconds, I'm on it and I know my script and I'm saying it. And, you know, basically it's that easy. So excuse me, this is going to seem a little bit random, but your service today has been exceptional. You're so open and bubbly, and I'm looking for people just like you. Now, I used almost identical script to that in one of the petrol stations the other day, because this woman has been serving me for months and months and months in the petrol station opposite where I live. And she is so good. Her English is excellent. She's always the first one to come up to me when I walk in, say, oh, hi, how are you? How's the horse? Because I'm nearly always in my joggers. And she's so friendly, and this was what I said to her, and I handed her my business card, and she wasn't on Facebook, but she wrote her name on the back of a receipt for me, and I am following her up. You know, maybe nothing will come of it, but she deserves to see the opportunity. She's only working in the petrol station opposite, and I guarantee you she's not earning that much money, and she definitely has the right attitude for this business. The other one, I'm recruiting at the moment. I'm looking for people who may be open to earning an extra income around what you're doing here. Would an extra income be something you'd find useful? Fantastic. So they've said, yes, absolutely, I'd love an extra income. Great. Now they're normally working, so you might not be able to get their name into your phone because they'll be under the eyes of their bosses and their superiors, but they will always be giving you a receipt. So just say very quietly, jot your number down on the back of that receipt and I'll get some info to you later. They're much more comfortable doing that. So I find that works really a lot better. Okay, so going out and being prepared. I've just lost my way on here. Here we go. So what you need to do is, before you go out, I've said already, you've got the right attitude, you've got the right energy, the right focus, you're excited to go out. So you want to be taking really, really good business cards with you. If you haven't got them already, this is fundamental to your business. I really can't express enough how important it is to have them, that you can hand out absolutely anywhere. And choose a theme that you're proud of. Later on in the slides, I'll show you the front of one of my business cards. And choose a theme, so choose colours, choose a picture of yourself on there. Make them exciting, make them lively. Take a small notebook and pen. Have a really nice looking pen. So I've just got a Christmas present, which was the Crystals, the Swarovski pen. So I'm now using that everywhere. It looks really nice rather than, you know, some chewed up old pen that some big biro. So make sure you've got all nice stationery and pens. Dress appropriately, dress with confidence, wear something that makes you feel really successful. Don't go OTT, you don't be needing to wear a business suit, but really smart, casual, a nice handbag, or a nice purse, nice wallet that you've got your business cards in, and that it's all really easily accessible to whip out quickly. The really good suggestion for contact marketing and going out target marketing is to go out with a team member and have fun with it. Have a giggle. Do some little mini competitions between yourself. So send you off in two opposite directions and see how many numbers you can get off people and reward yourselves. So, you know, if you go out 2 at a time and you come back with 10 numbers and your buddy comes back with 8 numbers, she owes you a coffee. That's the reward. You know, just silly little things like that, but it makes it fun and takes the pressure off slightly. Always wear a big smile. Always, like I said, be energetic and, you know, just be approachable. When you go up to somebody, if you're standing really tall, shoulders back, and you look quite like you're on a mission, people are going to back off. Whereas if you go up to people a little bit more quietly spoken with a big smile on your face, and you know, a little bit maybe crouched down slightly but more approachable, I guarantee you that works better. So where can you do this? It's simple. Absolutely everywhere and anywhere that there are people. So you're looking at your malls, you're looking at your mum and toddler groups, like I said before, health centres, you know, sitting next to people in a health centre. How many do you see that have permanently got their heads in books, magazines, on their phone, and they don't ever look up and they don't make eye contact? That's not what you can't be like that as a network marketer. So strike up the conversation with somebody in the waiting room. Hi, how are you? Something just general, loving those shoes. Oh my God, I've looked at those handbags last week. Something simple to start the conversation. In the spas that you're going to, at exhibitions, conferences, when you go to weddings, they're brilliant because most people have had a few beverages, so they'll always be up for a conversation. Friday brunch is one of my favourite. I don't go out that often anymore to Friday brunches, but oh my word, when I did, I used to wake up the next morning and I'd have probably 5 to 10 friend requests on Facebook, because I've been handing my phone out left, right and centre to people that I had met up at the bar or up at the food station, at the buffet, stood there talking for 5 minutes or so, as you do. But by the end of it, I've handed my phone over, they've punched their names in, they've added a friend, and then in the morning I'm going, oh my God, who was that? Which one was that? What did we talk about? But I always follow up the next day with, great to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And that starts the ball rolling. So I'm making new friends. Even in the supermarkets, in the queues. It's easy. Just start, be brave and start that conversation, because there's a whole load of people you need to be adding to your who do you know list. And one thing that I wanted to say before I go on to this was, I was listening to something that Jane Leach said the other day, and it really made me giggle. She was flying from Johannesburg after the global rally, and she was flying to Zimbabwe, and she was going to do some training with some of her team over there. So she got onto the bus, she'd left the airport, they were travelling across the tarmac to get to their plane, and their bus broke down. Now, the tannoy system, or the driver, came over and said, really sorry, we've broken down, it's going to be 20 minutes before we either get a replacement bus or we get this bus going to get to the plane. Now, everybody on that bus was groaning, moaning, getting out their phones, getting out their iPads, their Kindles, no eye contact at all whatsoever. Jane Leach sat there and thought, brilliant. Nobody's going anywhere. I've got a captive audience. Who am I going to hit first? And she literally looked around the bus, picked a mum with a child, went up to her and started a conversation. Oh, where are you going? This lady was going to see her mother. And she had not seen her mother, and the mother had not seen that new grandchild. And she explained that she could only afford to go probably once every year or once every other year. So bingo, Jane was straight in with, I might have something for you to get you a bit of extra money so that your mum can either come and visit you or you can visit your mum more regularly. Would you be interested in me showing you how? Yes, done, name got. Then she looked around again, looked at another man, went over to him, started a conversation with him. Bingo, at the end of it, I'm cutting the story very short, he gave her the number. As she turned round, by this time the whole bus, because she's the only one talking, is looking at her, and a third man put his hand up and went, I'm next, I'm next. And she had them all, because she had 20 minutes where nobody could go anywhere, but she just goes up to people and say, hi, my name's Jane Leach, don't forget that name. You know, what are you up to, where are you going? So examples of script is really what I'm trying to say. For example, with Jane Leach, is being yourself, being natural, always come across as genuine. Go up to people, like I said before, and say, excuse me, so sorry to stop you. This is going to seem really random, and have a little nervous giggle. So it puts them at ease as well. And say something along the lines of, I've actually stopped you because, oh my word, you look fat, or your skin's amazing, or you look like you're into health and fitness. And I'm looking for people, smart, smiley, that are very open. These are all examples, don't take them, you know, use your own words, but this is kind of the stuff that I tend to say. I work under the umbrella of a huge company within health and wellness. I'm expanding my business currently here in Dubai, and I'm just looking for some really great people. What it is that you do? Let them answer. Listen. Always listen, because what you're trying to do is find out whether or not they could do with your help. So, oh, I bet you really enjoy that. In an ideal world, would you find an extra income useful? And if they say yes, then great. What's your number? And I'll get some info to you. Now, the next bit, there's kind of two different ways of looking at this. Some people say that when you're giving a little bit about your story, you should say, oh, I'm under the umbrella of a health and wellness, etc., etc. But I'm so proud to be part of Forever, I can't tell you. I always say, oh, I'm with Forever. Have you ever heard of it? Because I'm not ashamed of my story. I will tell my story and I'll say who I work for, because it does inspire others. And that's the kind of route that I've taken. But I know lots of other managers and lots of other trainings say to go down the route of, I help other mums like yourself to build businesses within the health and wellness. But really, really go back to your training, your first steps to manager, and get that bit of your story right, because you want to also be able to adapt it to the person that you're talking to. You'll find out from those little questions that you asked on the previous slide what their kind of hot buttons are, whether they need extra money, whether they want time and freedom to be able to be with their kids. And that's the way you're going to steer your story when they ask you, what is it that you do? So the fortune is always in the follow-up, and you really, really should follow up within the first 24 to 48 hours. That's the golden rule. At the time that you said you would call. So if you've said to them, I'll be in touch tomorrow and I'll get some info to you, then you will call them that next day and you will send them the information that next day, because the longer you leave it, the more likely it is that that prospect will just go cold and you won't get any results from it whatsoever. It's a bit like striking while the iron is hot. Always, always follow up as soon as you can. And the most important thing of all is to know your objective, what you're doing, what you're building rapport with that new prospect. You're building a relationship from step one. So you need to arrange how to send out that next piece of information, whether you're going to be sending it over a Facebook message, whether you're going to be sending it by email, or whether you're going to be actually sat down talking to them in a coffee shop. Now, I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but when you're making those calls, please, please, please go on to powerpod.info and go to the Phil Jones magic words, the words that will influence, persuade and encourage people to actually take a look. It's absolutely invaluable, and I think it's actually got the ebook on there now, so you don't even need to download it. I think you can just watch it straight off. But you can get it on Amazon as well. And also, is it page 18? I haven't got my glasses on. Yes, page 18 in your First Steps to Manager book. It tells you exactly how to be prepared for the call, how to make the call, gives you some ideas of, really keeping it simple, how to start the call, how to continue with the call, and how to finish the call. It couldn't be any simpler. It's all written there in your First Steps to Manager book. So I'm not going to go over that in too much detail, but those are the two pieces of advice I'd say for that one. And your cards and flyers. So when used consistently, they're going to generate amazing results. So you can use your business card or a flyer as a really good conversation opener. And you need to start handing them out anywhere that there are people. One of my favorite ones, and I can't remember, I was having this conversation with someone the other day in a planning meeting. Oh, I think it was Sam on Skype. How do I get in front of people? She'd just been away to a hotel and she hadn't spoken to anybody. And she could have, even if there's no confidence there yet, what she could have done was she could have just left a couple of little samples, a flyer and a business card in the hotel room for the people that did all the turn down service and the cleaning service, with a little thank you note, just saying thank you so much for being so great at sorting my room out. Here's a few little samples of my products, which I hope will really help. And if you're looking to earn some extra income, that's where the flyers come in. You can get flyers that are specific for certain target markets. All sorts of people, while you're out and about, you should be leaving a paper trail absolutely everywhere. And if you haven't got flyers and you haven't got your business cards, then you won't be able to do it. So get yourself onto QLS Online, as you can see there, powerpodprint.info. The 2 screenshots down the bottom are the 2 different pages that you need to go to, and you can print them off or get them sent to you. The business card of mine, I only showed you one side, I didn't do the 2 sides, but it is double-sided. I really like the idea of having a picture of yourself, and that picture of me is the one that currently runs through most of my social media platforms. So it's on my Instagram, it's on my Zoe Whistler Global Business Mentor Facebook page, and I kind of run that sort of theme through everything. It's continuity again. And that business card did come from PowerPod, I believe, ages ago, and I am actually looking to change them. But those, I'm obviously not going to change it until those ones have run out. So that's just one idea of the business cards that you can get, and you put in all your own information. So on the back of that, I think I've got a link to my Facebook business page and something else, which I can't remember, and I haven't got one in front of me. So what you need to do is, while you're building this successful pipeline after doing all your different forms of prospecting, you're going to fill in that activity tracker and your first steps to manager. You're going to print them off and you're going to fill them in religiously. Because once you've filled them in and you know what action needs to be taken, you are going to move on to keeping a moving diary with every single prospect. So we call them 1 to 31 folders. We use them for customers and we use them for prospects. And what you do is, throughout the year, you've got all their full detail, their profile, and the activity that you're doing with them, so you don't miss anything important. Really, 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 I haven't found now a better way to keep track of my prospects, because I'm just moving them through the folder each and every time I move to the next stage. So when I open my folder tomorrow, I will know exactly what I've got to do with each of my prospects, and it will only take me maybe 10 minutes. So my time management is so much more effective, rather than having to scroll back through old messages or trying to remember old phone conversations and where we were at. Oh, now, did they say that their mum was ill and that she'd probably take a look at it in January? Was that her or was that somebody else? Because if you make a note of it, it's already there. I've opened my 1 to 31 folder on the 3rd of January, and it says contact Kat because her mum will be out of hospital and she'll be ready to focus on the business from now on. So you don't have to waste any time. It's a fantastic way of doing it. And if you don't fully understand your 1 to 31 folder methods, then your upline does, because they definitely use them. So ask to see one of their 1 to 31 folders so that you can really get a feel of how well it works. So as I said, last week we profiled our prospects. We're using the sheets from the first steps to manager. So after calling them, you've entered them into your pipeline, but only if they've agreed to take some more information. You've got to keep developing that pipeline. It says here that you really want it to be full of 20, I'd say 30 names of people you're currently talking to. So basically, you've not got your eggs all in one basket. If you've got one really hot prospect and you're focusing all your attention, you're actually going to end up switching them off because you're contacting them too much. You want to have a funnel. You want to have them all going through that funnel and at different stages, so that if you've got 30 going through the top of the funnel, you might have 1 or 2 coming out the bottom after they've gone through the different stages. And if they're no today, if they're a not now today, fine. Move them 3 to 4 months down the line in your 1 to 31 folder. So move them from today until April, and then give them a quick call or a message, whatever you would normally do with that prospect. And it's simple. Hiya, hope you're well. Business is going mental, as usual. I remember us chatting a few months ago, so I really wanted to get back in touch. Many people I previously talked to have had situations change. Maybe now the time's right for you. Thought I'd pop you a quick message. How on earth are things going now? It's that simple. And then wait for their response and listen to their response. Now, I always try and coach that we have a marketing strategy. So whether or not you're working this business part-time or full-time, without a marketing strategy or without a plan, you won't get up in the morning and you won't do the necessary activity. So if you're working this business towards a manager position currently, then what you really should be focusing on is what I've got written here. You should have your 5 people a day off your who do know list that you're contacting and you're putting through the business cycle. You should try and add 10 names, make 10 new friends. It says here 10 numbers a week from contact marketing. Forget that. You've got to go out and make 10 new friends. That's all you need to do. You need to be using your flyers and your cards. So you need to be giving out somewhere in the region of 250 flyers and cards a week. That is leaving a paper trail absolutely everywhere you go. And you need to be sending out approximately 30 messages on your social media platforms, whether that is to new people that are new followers on Instagram, whether it's Facebook Messenger, all those sorts of things. Easily you can do 30 messages a week without fail. So do the activity and let go of the outcome, because the results will follow. But if you're not doing the activity, you can't expect the compound effect to come into play. What you're doing now will come around in about 2 months' time, 3 months' time. So if that activity is not happening now, you don't expect to be seeing any new team or any new customers coming into your business in March and April. It will go flat. I can tell you that because I've been there, seen it, done it. So don't get complacent, just keep going, whether or not you're seeing the results now, because it will happen. Build your pipeline and keep it current. Keep 30 people on it at all times. And don't reinvent the wheel. Just do exactly what it says here, because it's been proven. It works. All the top managers, all the GLT use this system. So very simply, the business cycle. So you're expanding and prospecting and adding to your who do you know list all the time. They are your potential team members. Then you go into your contact and show. So go into PowerPod, go into the contact and show section and refresh your memory. So what you would do after you have got somebody potentially interested in the business is you're going to send them a short video. And you will probably either be choosing your own or one of your uplines, or even the ones from QLS or PowerPod. And then you're going to follow up from that with a one-to-one preferably. Because getting somebody in front of you and having a coffee and having a chat is the best time that someone will buy into you. And that's when you'll get people joining you. It's not about joining the business. 9 times out of 10, they join because they have faith in you and your enthusiasm and your excitement. So once you've done your one-to-one, you're then going to take them to a business presentation, or you're going to invite them to listen to the online business presentation that we're now doing once a month. So in Abu Dhabi, you've got Victoria's on Monday nights. We've got Tuesday nights with Claire Thompson and Jeffrey. We've got Sunday mornings. We've got once a month, the last Sunday in every month, with ourselves, Sunshine Team. So you can bring them along to that if they don't work during the day. There's so many options open to you. You can send them a recorded business presentation. We've got a short version, which Amanda kindly did for us. So ask for the link for that. Or we have the longer versions, which are available for global team, you know, in pounds, etc., on PowerPod and QLS. So once they've gone to the business presentation, if they've decided, yep, I'm in, bingo, that's when you get started, and that's when you do your first planning meetings, and that's when you coach to manager and beyond. It cannot be any simpler. That is all we do. So you need to learn all those stages of that business cycle, all 4 of them, off by heart, inside out and back to front. And once you've cracked that, you've got it nailed. So you need to have a 4-minute video. Now, you don't personally need to have a 4-minute video, but what you do need to do is you need to use a compliant 4-minute video that tells the potential of the business and why a prospect needs to come along and have a meeting with you to find out more. In other words, you're getting them excited and you're getting them to the point of going, oh, I definitely don't want to miss out on this. So all FBOs can use it with confidence. They can send the one from QLS of Jane Leach. They've got various options on PowerPod. Some of your managers here have one. I have one. Claire Thompson has one. Mine is not great. I will be redoing it because I did it, I think, about a year ago, and it's a bit outdated now. But I know I need to update it, and I will. I'm a lot more confident on videos. That was my big out of my comfort zone moment. I hate myself on videos, and I hate listening to myself playing back. So I need to redo that. But please make sure that you find the right 4-minute video for your potential prospect and that it is a compliant message. If you're not sure, ask your upline. And then you're going to get them face-to-face, like I said. This is when they're going to buy into you. Now, I'm not going to go into exactly how to deliver a good one-to-one. You should always have your upline, your sponsor, or your nearest supervisor or above in your upline come along and show you how to do a one-to-one with your prospect. You shouldn't be expected to do the first ones on your own, but there's a really good training video. When Sam Pierce came over here with all the girls, Natalie Healy, etc., in October 2015, we recorded her one-to-one training at that 2-day session. So go back, play that on PowerPod. It's in the show and contact section, and she'll tell you exactly how to do it. And then it's just a case of practice, practice, practice. So grab your husbands, grab your partners, grab your kids, offer the kids pocket money if you have to listen to you for 40 minutes practicing a one-to-one on them. I'm telling you, the kids will take the pocket money. They won't care. They'll sit and listen to you. So literally practice all the time, and you'll be amazed the difference it makes. So then you're going to take them along to a business presentation, and hopefully you're going to sign them up. Right, what I'd like to just finish off with is every single thing that I have touched on is either on PowerPod, as I've said in the show and contact, or it's on QLS online. There are some really lovely short videos on there about contact marketing with Juliana Woods. There's John Curtis's one-to-one version, how to make calls, all sorts on there that you're really missing out if you're not on QLS online, that you really should be taking advantage of these training pods. And that is about all from me tonight. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope I didn't take too long, and we'll see you next week for week 4. Okay guys, thank you so much. Bye.